Hello everyone and welcome to the next in the series of On the Sofa with Servium. My name is Steve Dawes and I'm the Services Director. The purpose of our series is to inform and enlighten you around new technologies, trends in the marketplace, things that we believe are disruptive and can deliver a business advantage. Today I'm joined by Reuben Melville. Hi Reuben, how are you doing?
I'm good, Steve, thank you.
Would you just like to explain your role at HPE?
Yep, so I am responsible for the sales of our consumption services for our channel partners through our EMEA regions.
Well, I really appreciate you taking some time out today. So as a sign of our gratitude, I'm going to present you with one of our Servium chili bottles, which is HPE branded. So really appreciate you taking the time, Reuben. That'll keep your drinks cold for up to 24 hours. So
brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thanks for the intro, Reuben. We're sort of here today to talk about an exciting new concept in the marketplace called HPE GreenLake. Please explain more.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So what we've got with HPE's GreenLake is it's infrastructure as a service, but it's based in the customer's own data center. So it gives them security. But it offers them cloud-like agility and economics because it's actually based on what the customer is actually using. So they're only paying for what they consume.
So in essence, that's giving a cloud-like experience, but on-premise.
Yeah, exactly that. So what we're finding is that customers, they are looking for possibly alternatives. Not all of the data can be moved to a public cloud. And so because they're looking at this cloud journey, they're also looking at what about if I have data that can't move to the public cloud, but they want it as a service. And this is really where our HPE GreenLake solution can help because it is based in their data center, based on what they're actually using. So they're only paying for what they use.
So that all sounds great, Reuben, but let's cut to the chase. What exactly is the customer going to be buying?
Good question. So what we're providing is, as we've said, it's infrastructure as a service based on what the customer requires. So what we look at is what do they actually need from day one, okay? And we will provide them the infrastructure as a service across the hardware platform, so servers, storage, networking. We're metering the environment for using our Cloud Cruiser software so that the customer can actually see what they're using. We then provide a committed capacity to the customer, but we also provide an on-site buffer. Now that on-site buffer is there for the customer to be able to scale up and scale down. If they never use that buffer, they will never be charged for it. So it really is infrastructure as a service based on what the customer is actually consuming across servers, storage, and networking.
So that sounds really good. And there's a lot of vendors out there that come to market with some great concepts, great ideas, but it never really happens. It's a concept. So is this available today?
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. So we're getting a lot of interest from customers. It's across industries, across verticals. In fact, we've actually got over $2.5 billion of contracted assets within the solution already. We've got over 700 customers worldwide as well, and they're growing and growing. So absolutely, it's available today.
So you mentioned just before about Cloud Cruiser. What is that?
So Cloud Cruiser is the metering software that we use within the customer's environment. That enables the customer to be able to access the portal to see the consumption being used across the hardware. So servers, storage, and networking.
So from the customer's perspective, that's allowing them to plan for capacity for the future.
So they're able to have a look at the usage, but also we assign a utility delivery manager to the customer's account. And what they're there for is to look at that capacity, what is happening within the environment, and really to make sure that we're always deploying capacity ahead of demand. I'll give you an example. So if we saw a customer that kept on going into their buffer, that's when we'd be talking to them about maybe increasing the amount of capacity that they require, so that they've always got that buffer to be able to suddenly respond to business demand quickly.
I presume that would work the other way as well. If the demand is not as great, they'll be able to, that software will allow them to reduce that for future use.
Yeah, again, it's another strong point about the service. That buffer that we're providing, if the customer never uses the buffer, they'll never be charged for it. So that's at HPE's risk. Hence, being able to say cloud-like agility, because the customer is able to scale up, but also scale down.
If I'm a customer, I'm looking to implement a GreenLake solution, how do I save money?
Great question. So if you think about the traditional way of purchase, what customers are actually doing is they're spending money on capacity that they don't require from day one. Now, on average, customers, they over-provision their servers by 60% and storage up to 50%. So all of that capacity not being used is actually money being wasted. You then start to think about the additional costs that go on top of that: power, cooling, software licenses, even data center footprints, for example. Because we're actually deploying capacity when required, not only do you avoid having to spend money up front on capacity that you don't need, but actually because of the better utilization, you're reducing all those additional costs. Now, because we're also providing that on-site buffer, it means you can respond to business demand quickly. That then for the business could mean that actually they can launch services in a much quicker fashion. So IT is actually helping the business bring money in a much quicker way. One of the other points, we're actually committing to the price over a period of time, over the contract life. And so the customer is able to budget in a much stronger fashion. But then actually we offer this growth path as well. So the more the customer uses, actually the less the unit charges across the environment.
So from an economics point of view, how does GreenLake stack up against a public cloud provider like AWS, Azure, or one of the new ones on the market, Alibaba?
Great question. So actually what we're finding is that customers are almost coming back from the cloud. So a while ago, customers were looking at public cloud for everything. I think they're now realizing that hybrid is more the solution they're looking for. So we've actually talking to customers now that are coming back from the public cloud at certain elements of their environment. So they realize that maybe not everything can move over. That could be for a variety of reasons. One of them is actually that customers aren't seeing the cost savings that they thought with public cloud. Another could be compliance, for example. So we've all heard about GDPR, etc. as well. Because customers are moving from the cloud, they've already got that mindset of having IT as a service. What our solution does is able to provide them infrastructure as a service for all that data that can't move to the cloud.
So as an IT manager, HP talk a lot about GreenLake reducing the operational burden. So can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure, Steve. So if you think about what we were talking about before about capacity management, because we're actually looking at the capacity usage, because we're ensuring the customers have always got enough capacity to respond to business demand, that frees up a lot of time because capacity management is complicated. In fact, one of our customers was on stage at Discover talking about the fact that he actually purchased this solution purely because of the capacity management element. He no longer had to worry about not having that capacity to respond to business demand. So there's that element to it. But also, we're ensuring that the customer's uptime is increased as well because we're assigning an account support manager who is responsible for ensuring that we're giving customers proactive advice to avoid downtime. And I also get accelerated call management as well.
So as a customer, I'm watching this now and I like GreenLake. What's the typical onboarding process?
So obviously, Steve, be working with Servium. What's really important is that we're able to scope the solution to meet the customer's needs. So we really do look at what does the customer require from day one. That's the most important thing because this solution is all about ensuring the customer has enough capacity to respond to business demand, but isn't over provisioning and bringing in all those costs. So we'd be working with Servium and the customer to look at what do you require from day one, but then to be able to show the cost savings for future growth, we'd actually then be looking at what would be the predicted growth maybe over 4-5 years, and then we're able to engage in being able to talk about the solution and the price.
So we talked about the onboarding process, and I'm doing the planning. I'm assuming then, as a customer, I can sort of build in technology refresh as part of that 4 to 5 year plan?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, what we actually find is that customers carry on extending their contract, include the technology refresh as well, because they're moving away from that mindset of buying technology up front when they can actually have it as a service.
Great. Well, look, thanks for your time today, Reuben. Everyone watching today, really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. If you're interested in knowing more about HPE GreenLake, if anything we said has resonated with you today, then please get in touch with us, and then we can engage with HPE and take you on that journey as part of a move to a on-prem consumption service in your own data center. Okay, so as part of the evolution of On the Sofa with Servium, we're going to spice it up a little bit with something we've called Tech Truth. So Reuben, you're our guinea pig today.
Okay.
This is a quick fire round of 1 minute. I'm going to fire some questions at you. Don't look nervous. Quick answers, and let's see where you rank over time in our league table. So
Okay.
you're the guinea pig today. So question 1, Apple or Android?
Apple.
Best tech trend this year?
GreenLake consumption services.
Your favourite app?
WhatsApp.
How long have you been at HPE?
Over 20 years.
Favourite film?
Favourite film would be Road to Istanbul.
Interesting. Twitter or Facebook?
Twitter.
Favourite musician?
Favourite musician is somebody called Donovan Frankenreiter.
Oh, know him well. Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Favourite TV show?
I've got to say match of the day, maybe A-Team.
First car?
VW Beetle.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Server or storage?
Hyperconverge.
The tech you can't live without?
My phone.
That's it. Your minute's up. Thanks, Reuben. I think you got all those right, didn't you?
Hope so.